Hello everyone, my name is Sister Imbori. My topic is traumatic brain injury. Today I would like to share with you an important information about traumatic brain injury, the primary function of each part of the brain, as well as the signs and symptoms related to brain injury. Welcome, I hope that you'll enjoy my presentation. What is traumatic brain injury? According to IDEA, traumatic brain injury means an acquired injury to the brain caused by an external physical force, resulting in total or partial functional disability or social psycho impairment, or both, that adversely affect a child's educational performance. Traumatic brain injury applies to open or closed head injury resulting in impairment in one or more areas such as cognition, language, memory, attention, reasoning, abstract thinking, judgment, problem solving, sensory perception, and motor abilities. And according to BIAA, traumatic brain injury is an insult to the brain, not of the degenerative or congenital nature, which is caused by an external physical force that may produce a diminished or alternate state of consciousness, and which results in an impairment of cognitive disability or physical functioning. It can also result in the disturbance of behavioral or emotional functioning. The human brain. The human brain is one of the largest and most complex organs in the human body. It is made up of more than 100 trillion nerves that communicate in trillions of connections called synapses. The brain is made up of many specialized areas that work together. The brain has divided into several lobes, which include the following: the cerebellum, frontal lobe, occipital lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and the brain stem. As you can see here, the image here below indicated part of the brain. Here we have cerebellum is located here at the bottom, and this is brain stem. Temporal lobe located here in between those other lobes, and frontal lobe is at the forehead, and which is very big part of the brain. And here is parietal lobe, is located behind the frontal lobe, and occipital lobe is below parietal lobe. The cerebellum lobe, the primary function. The cerebellum lobe is the area at the back and bottom of the brain, behind the brain stem, where the spinal cord meets the brain. As you can see here in this image, it's located here, it's behind the spinal cord. The primary function include the following: maintaining balance, vision, coordinating eye movement, control body movement, and motor learning skill. Cerebellum lobe injury sign and symptom. The following are the symptoms of cerebellum injury: loss of coordination of motor movement, inability to judge distance, slower movement, dizziness, headache, lack of muscle control or shaking, difficulty with walking and mobility, abnormal eye movement. As you can see, this part of brain is very small but has a lot to do with all this I mentioned here. So it's important to protect as you can so you cannot involve in the accident. The frontal lobe primary function. The frontal lobe is the part of the brain that controls important cognitive skills in human beings, such as executive functioning, emotional expression, sense of smell, motor skill, coordinated voluntary movement including walking and running, processing language, judgment, and performing personality. The frontal lobe is a large portion of the brain. It is in front of the head and also is portioned in both hemispheres, right and left. As you can see, it's very big part of human brain. The frontal lobe injury signs and symptoms include the following: inability to focus on tasks, lack of attention, personality and mood change, difficulty with problem solving, headache, inability to express language, verbal expression, inability to plan a sequence of complex movement, and problem with social interaction. As you can see in this image, this part of the brain is what is injured. As you can see, the color is different from the rest of the brain. It's red. It means that the person has got a brain injury, traumatic brain injury. So it is very important to make sure that to protect our children and to make sure that they are safe when they are playing different games. Occipital lobe primary functions. The primary function of occipital lobe are the following: processing vision information, sight, organizing the complex process of vision perception, identifying shape, color, and interpret drawing. As you can see here, this is sense of sight. Without the obstacle, the person cannot do any action related to sight. So this portion is control everything about sight and the organized process for vision. Occipital lobe injury signs and symptoms are the following: partial blindness, central vision loss, severe vision loss or total blindness, inability to identify color and shape, inability to analyze content, and inability to interpret drawing. As you can see in this image here, this area is which is affected, the brain. So this individual is totally blind or partial blindness. And here below this you can see this image. This is the part which has injured. The parietal lobe primary functions. The parietal lobe is located above the occipital and behind the frontal lobe. As you can see here, it's located in this area. And the primary function include the following: parietal lobe is divided in two parts, the left and the right hemisphere. The left hemisphere is involved in processing language and mathematics. The right hemisphere works with images detection and spatial understanding such as the ability to read and interpret images, sense of touch, sense of taste, body awareness, movement control, and manipulation objects. The parietal lobe injury sign and symptom. Sign or symptoms that associate with parietal lobe include the following: inability to name an object, inability to taste, inability to sense of touch, language disorder, inability to read, difficult with hand-eye coordination and right-left disorientation, difficult with mathematics, and lack of awareness of the surroundings. And parietal lobe is located in this area at the back middle of the brain. Temporal lobe primary function. The temporal lobe is located at the bottom middle part of cortex, right behind the template. As you can see here in this image, it covers almost part of the rest of the brain. The primary function include the following: processing sensory information from the ears, hearing, coordinate auditory sensation, processing and organize auditory input, sounds, processing visual stimuli to understand the meaning of the words or speech, and comprehension, responsible for written and spoken language, memory, and emotion. The temporal lobe injury sign and symptom. This image indicates closed head injury. This part of temporal lobe has injured, has different color from the rest of the part of temporal lobe. This which has injured has light blue color, and the rest of the temporal lobe has different color, which is purple. So you can see this area is different from each other. And the following are the symptoms that associate with temporal lobe injury: disruption to auditory sensation and perception, disturbance or selective attention of auditory and visual input, example, failure to recognize faces, and hearing loss, disorder of vision perception, impaired organization and categorization of verbal materials, disturbance of language and comprehension, including difficulty understanding spoken words, impaired long-term memory and/or loss of short-term memory, alternate personality, including aggressive behavior, irritability, and increased anger. Brainstem primary function. This image indicates there where the brainstem located is located inside the middle of the brain to the spinal cord. And the primary function include the following: breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, circulation, digestion, sleeping, and swallowing. Brainstem injury sign and symptom. This image indicates a part of brainstem which has injured. Is from here. You can see it has a red color, and the symptoms associated with brainstem include this following: abnormal sleeping patterns, dizziness, vomiting, loss of balance and mobility issues, inability to cough, difficulty eating, drinking, or swallowing, abnormal speech, and the lack of motor functioning. Accommodation for students with traumatic brain injury in the classroom. Students with TBI can benefit from the following accommodations: handheld computers, augmentative and alternative communication, peer badge supports, graphic organizer, note takers, word processor, taking tests in quiet place, extra time for tests and assignment, having direction read, repeated or reread, preference for sitting, and the use of FM system. What are the causes of traumatic brain injury? Sport. Many studies have revealed that sports are one of the significant concerns that contributed to TBI, especially for children and youth. For example, bicycling, football, playground, basketball, soccer, and basketball. The other factors that contribute to TBI injury include the following: motor vehicle traffic accident, falls, assault, struck by an object, unknown sources, and baby shock syndrome. And these are my reference website which I use for locating this information which I include in my presentation. Reference page continue. In my reference, I include a website where I took images, YouTube, which I watch to get information related to the part of brain. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching, and I ask you kindly if you can send me back feedback so in the future I can improve my presentation. Thank you and have a good day.